Hi, everybody. Just thought I'd let everybody know some good news to give everyone hope. Um, there's something that has happened to me in the course of the last year or so, and I want to share it with you. I know that the country is there. It's a great time of year, and so I just thought I'd take time out of my day and sit before you. And I think that you'll find this, what I'm going to share with you, very interesting. If you look behind me, there's an American flag that you've never seen before. Um, the name of that flag that I happened to vote on the end of 2011 is called Forever Glory. You see that the stars are in a circular fashion. It's a legitimate flag. It's a flag that is our identity. And our identity is the Republic for the United States of America. And I am part of that. And it happened in 2010, the end of 2010, when my wife came home and told me that America's been restored. There was a bunch of officers in the Republic for the United States of America that wrote a Declaration of Sovereign Intent in Utah, and the papers were signed, and the Constitution, believe it or not, has been laying dormant for some 150 years, um, actually since uh, the first term, the first few months of Abraham Lincoln's presidency, uh, when Congress, the House of Representatives, fell apart over some issues, um, and they never did return um, under constitutional de jure law, under real law. Um, Sign a day is a term that's used where there was no date set. So the last president was James Buchanan, and 153 years later, um, earlier this month in March, there was an inauguration speech that was delivered by James Buchanan Geiger, 153 years. And I just want to throw this in, when after Jesus had risen from the dead, and he met his disciples who were out in Sea of Galilee, he told them to cast their nets down on the right side of the boat, and they pulled in 153 fish. Um, and there, the mission accomplished, victory. There's a meaning for 153. Um, so that's why you see um, that particular flag, and I believe that flag will be flying on every governmental institution across this great country in not too distant future. But I was going to go to Bible school with my wife uh, um, when I retired. We were trying to sell our home, and it didn't sell. So um, we decided to go in a different direction. And when we found out about the Republic, we joined the Republic. Um, in joining the Republic, and even before, I was asking God after I retired, how could I make a difference? What could I do to make my life count? I have 11, 10 grandchildren, and I I wanted to leave behind um, I wanted to leave behind something that they could hang on to. And so, in studying the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, finding out how we got into the mess that we're in, I decided that I would, along with my wife, we would join the Republic. And so that's how it happened. I started memorizing some speeches by our founding fathers. I studied the founding fathers. I got to know the founding fathers by reading letters, for example, between John Adams and Abigail Adams. I found out who they really were. I actually memorized "Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death" about a year ago, and I gave that speech last summer at a picnic in Wisconsin. Um, and I said, God, what do you want me to do? How do you want me to use these speeches? And I've just kept going and going and going, studying the founding fathers and memorizing speeches. Anyway, um, when I was about 13 years old, I was asked to recite the Gettysburg Address. and I did that in southern Wisconsin on Memorial Day. And I thought it would be nice if I would go over that Gettysburg Address and have a message to deliver at a winter gathering here in Wisconsin. And so I memorized it, and where I was memorizing next to it was the Emancipation Proclamation. And I looked at that, and I knew that that was a document having to do with freedom of slavery. I also came across a Bible teaching um, last fall, 2013, on the book of Romans. And in that Bible teaching, the Bible teacher talked about the Emancipation Proclamation. And while he was teaching out of Romans, he said that there were, when that Emancipation Proclamation was released, there were plantation owners that didn't tell their slaves about the Emancipation Proclamation. So they continued to work as slaves on the plantation, and here they were free, but nobody told them they were free. And when I did this Bible study, I found out that I was really, really free from sin, as that when Christ died for my sins, that my sin nature was taken from me, not just my sins, and that a new nature was put inside of me. I don't no longer have two natures. I have just one nature. So I became free, but without me knowing that, because I was taught differently from the pulpits that I had gone to, and from all the Bible studies I've gone to, I was taught differently. I was taught that there was two natures inside of me, like a black and a white dog, and which one you ever fed the most is the one that would rule in your life. And so that's not the case. So the Emancipation Proclamation, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. If the slaves would have been known to the truth about the Emancipation Proclamation, they would have been set free. But because they didn't know it, they still were enslaved. I also came across paintings by a famous artist by the name of John McNaughton, and he has painted, here's one of them. You can see that. The name of the painting is called The Empowered Man. He has many different paintings. He also has a painting of this man enslaved with chains wrapped around him, with the CEO of the corporation in Washington, D.C. standing on the Constitution. And so there are many Americans today that think that they're free. They go to sporting events and they sing Star Spangled Banner, and that part where it says the land of the home of the free and the brave. They think that they are free, but in reality, when they look at their checks and they see the gross and they see the net amount, they see what the IRS has been doing all these years. They see what they have to pay for licenses. There's many different things on how our county government, our state government, our federal government have been controlled us and put us into slavery, and have made life really difficult. And now, with all the foreclosures that are going on, millions of people have lost their homes through the foreclosures. It's a fraud. It's an act of fraud. I found out by the courts, by the government, and we in the Republic are going to make a difference. You are living in one of the most exciting times ever in the history of mankind. This will be straightened out. Things are going to be changed. But let me go farther with this Emancipation Proclamation. On February 8th, I gave a speech called Emancipation Proclamation, and I kind of told the officers for the Republic kind of a little bit what I told you. And on March 16th, the new president, James Buchanan Geiger, had a press release, and the name of his press release was Emancipation Proclamation. Now let me tell you what's so neat about this. On February 21st, I had a vision of a war room with a great big round table in it, and on the round table was a protractor, a straight edge, a compass, a pointer. There was maps on the wall, George Washington and Jefferson were side by side, paintings of them on the wall. On the opposite wall was a picture of the CEO of the corporation in Washington, D.C., and some of the, I refer to them as puppets, as I've learned that there's puppeteers running puppets and always has been for many, many years, over 100 years. And anyway, I don't know what the pictures, who they were, but I could recognize the CEO. And around this table was the vice president for the Republic of the United States and a senator pro tem. Um, those two I recognized, but the other men I didn't recognize. I recognized that they were admirals and generals let go by the CEO in Washington, D.C. They were fired. And I was hoping that they would take a place, a position around that table in the war room, and that through their talking with one another about the problems going on in the country, and that out of the blue, one would say, that's it. It would come from maybe something that was said by an admiral or general or the vice president or the pro tem senator. And on that table, along with those tools, was the Constitution, the Bible, and the Declaration of Independence and the Declaration of Sovereign Intent. But there was a blank piece of paper and a pen. And so when this release came by our new president on the 16th of March, it was impressed upon me that that was what the blank piece of paper was for. That's it. The Emancipation Proclamation that was written by our new president. And this was not just a coincidence. This was a vision that I got, and I'm expecting many more things to happen in the war room ahead. I want you to tell your friends about this video, give them hope, show them the picture of the flag in the background, and this is what God has given me to make a difference. This is the vehicle that we have as patriots have been waiting for to actually make a difference in America. What we need is we need people like you that are watching this video to tell other people, tell your friends, neighbors, tell patriots that there's only one vehicle to get involved with now. All you patriot groups, we love all your patriot groups, love you dearly. But this is it. This is what we need to do. We need to unite. We need to lock arms. So if you want to make a difference, I urge you to do as my wife and I have done, join the Republic for the United States of America. And with that, I thank you, and God bless you, and have a good day.